Well, welcome along to the final day of Landlord Talking Points powered by IdealFlatmate, and all this week I have been joined by co-founder Tom Gatzen. And Tom, today we're going to kind of finish on a bit of a finale and really ask, is buy-to-let dead? And sometimes, when people see these videos, they go, oh, people talking about this is so negative. But actually, we're not. We're just asking the question, and then we're going to provide some insights. And Tom, I've been a landlord for 15 years now, celebrating my 15th anniversary this year, and I still feel as positive about investing in property as I did 15 years ago. Things have changed, but change is the one thing that you can actually count on.
Let's end the week on a positive note. It's definitely not dead. I mean, it's reinvented itself. It's constantly reinventing, but if anything, it's an amazing time to be in buy-to-let. The population's growing. Places like London are seeing massive expansion, and more people are renting for significantly longer. So we touched on it in one of the previous episodes, but the way young people are more transient now, more on the move, more going from city to city in their life, they're not going to be confined to one job or one city for more than a few years. So people don't want to buy in their 20s and early 30s. So it's an amazing time to be a buy-to-let landlord. You've just got to potentially do a bit more research, be a bit more out there and searching a bit harder for tenants and looking for the right sort of quality tenant. But all of the market fundamentals are in favour for buy-to-let, so it's definitely not dead.
No, it isn't, and those market fundamentals are indeed the same as when I started 15 years ago, and at the end of the day, we are a small island, nobody's making any more land, and a lot of people want to live here, and everybody needs a roof over their head, so there's always going to be demand. But I think you hit on something very important, and that is that indeed the game has changed, and perhaps landlords need to be more professional now. They need to be experts at due diligence. They need to really understand their area, and if they do, there's still opportunity.
There is, but I think you can always strip it back a bit and just keep it very simple. Like, most tenants' expectations aren't actually that high, and I think landlords can become a bit too stressed out and nervous about the kind of level of service they need to provide. Yes, it's amazing if you can buy a bottle of champagne for a tenant, on Christmas, or little add-ons like that. But the basics are just: will you be there for the tenant when they've got a major issue? Will you help repair the flat when it's your duty to anyway? And the quality has been left pretty low by some bad landlords in the sector. That if you are a good buy-to-let landlord, just doing the right thing, you will get massive benefits, because some tenants have become so disillusioned that they're not expecting it. I mean, two of the people in our office here at IdealFlatmate are young people, and they've both come in recently in the last few months, and their landlord's been a nightmare. They haven't done X, they haven't done Y, they promised to do this, and they just never bothered, and they never got back to them. So there is a problem with bad landlords that don't do what they're supposed to do. But if you do the right thing, there's a huge opportunity there in the buy-to-let market.
I mean, what we could say, Tom, is it's never crowded on the extra mile, and that's a good place for landlords to be in the future. The sector is professionalising. There is a drive to raise standards. I actually regard those as two very positive things. I think probably for older landlords like myself that have been in the game for 15 years, all these changes are hitting home, because I've had the benefit of 15 years of very favourable conditions to landlords. But for newcomers coming in, they don't know any different. They can start their business kind of knowing what the conditions are, all the regulation coming in, etc. So I think we'll probably see a kind of new breed of landlord coming through.
It's a really good point, and it's completely right what you say, that there's definitely room for good quality landlords in the PRS space. You've got the traditional PRS, which is still growing fast, even though there feels like there's pressures on the sector, and there's people moving to build to rent, there's people moving to social housing. As we've kind of touched on the demographics, the whole population is growing, the rental market is growing. Those three sectors need to be there side by side, but the PRS is a huge part of it. And like you say, there's a great opportunity for landlords that kind of understand the game, do right by their tenants, to really thrive in this sort of atmosphere. And the new breed of landlords coming in will probably come from it from a more professional sort of point of view, and knowing the sector as is. There won't be many surprises to them. They've probably coming into it with their eyes open now. That it is a tough space, but if you're prepared to go for it, you're going to be doing the right things, I would have thought.
And I always think that good landlords generally attract good tenants. You know, we get the tenants that we deserve. I think in the past, perhaps some landlords, or certainly even now, I see landlords talking about passive income from buy-to-let. I don't believe that it's ever been a passive investment. Even if you have a fully managed service, you do have to have some engagement with being a landlord, wear your landlord hat from time to time. And I think we'll see more of that. We'll see landlords more engaged, which again actually is positive. And, you know, landlords will see opportunities, they'll see niches, and I can only see that, you know, landlords are going to continue to be needed. As you said, PRS isn't going anywhere. We've just got to look at it through a different lens than perhaps some of us have done in the past.
I think you're right, and I think that the days of that mindset around passive landlord is kind of over, because people realise how much work does go into it, and it can be a great lifestyle and a great thing to do it, you know, as part of your income. But hopefully now people have their eyes open to that. You've got to do the basics, and you've got to be there when needed. And you can't just sit back, rent out your property, and expect it to just be a nice little top up to your kind of monthly income. There are a lot of tools there out now to help landlords, and, you know, tech is improving the whole time. Yep. Sites like IdealFlatmate are here to kind of help you find good quality flatmates and tenants. There are a lot of property management tools out there to assist. So for landlords doing the research, their lives can be made easier. But again, I come back to the point that it doesn't take a huge amount to kind of get a good reputation amongst tenants and amongst your tenants. And if you do get on the right side of them, and people do start talking to their friends, as people will do, about their landlord, if you can start getting some positive referrals and positive word of mouth kind of mentality around from the tenants, that's going to serve you in very good stead as a landlord.
So I think we're entering a new era of landlordism, but there, you know, as we've been saying, there's a lot to be positive about.
Yeah, the market fundamentals are definitely right. There are a lot of tools out there to help, and there's a great community of landlords. If you do want advice, there's so many places you can get advice from. Facebook groups, property tribes, you know, other locations where you can kind of get support and help, which can be really important, because it can be a very daunting space to get into if you don't know anything about the sector and you just read the press and you see a lot of negativity. Yeah. But it's certainly not dead. It's certainly still a great way to, you know, make some income and potentially make a living. But as you say, it's probably, if you're up for a, you know, quick, easy buck, it's probably not the best thing to be doing. You've got to take a slightly longer term view and understand that you need to do some pretty good work as part of it.
I think, Tom, that one thing that has been a constant and should continue to be is that being a landlord is a people business. We as landlords have over 160 government statutes and regulations that we have to comply to in order to supply a compliant home. Those are probably going to get more, actually, as the days go on. But ultimately, it's a people business, and we have to remember that tenants are people. We have legal obligations towards them, that they're not just a rent payment at the end of the month.
I think that's such an important point and something that's often lost, and we are being positive here. Buy-to-let is a really great industry to get into, and particularly if you are a people person and you've got a level of empathy and compassion for your tenants, you're going to thrive. And, you know, one landlord who works with IdealFlatmate regularly, for example, sets up a WhatsApp group for all of his tenants in all of the different groups. And he said it's just a really easy way to stay engaged. They can all message any problems and he can deal with it straight away. So if you're seen as kind of a friendly face, you know, a helpful uncle to your tenants, rather than this nasty landlord who's there to not let you do anything and not help, you've got a massive opportunity to thrive in the buy-to-let space.
Well, those are indeed the type of landlords that I know you want to cultivate at IdealFlatmate, and also as we do here at propertytribes.com. We are ending on a high note there, and the landlord of the future is that friendly uncle landlord. I like that one. So we do hope you have enjoyed this week of Landlord Talking Points. Of course, we want to hear your views as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, please jump across to propertytribes.com and share your thoughts there with the Property Tribes community. And indeed, if you're watching on YouTube, we invite you to click to subscribe to our channel and also hit the notifications so you're updated with all our fantastic video content. Tom, I just want to say thank you so much to IdealFlatmate for you being my wonderful guest this week, and also for your support of Property Tribes as well. Great to have you as a partner with us. I know you share our desire to educate landlords, because better landlords means that tenants have a better experience of the private rented sector.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's been wonderful working together once again, and we've really enjoyed sponsoring this week and working with Property Tribes. And it is, you know, the default place to go now for landlords, and more for tenants who are kind of interested in the market from the other side. So great to be here this week, and look forward to working together in the future. Fantastic.
So we'll say goodbye now, and we do hope that you have enjoyed watching our Landlord Talking Points week, powered by IdealFlatmate. And actually, we'll probably do another week again in the not too distant future, because there are so many talking points. But for now, we're saying goodbye from London and the IdealFlatmate head office here in Hackney.